Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, Southland video here, bringing you a no BS review on Bauer tools. I had a few people message me and ask my opinion on Bauer tools. It just so happens I'm a Bauer tool user. I'm not affiliated with them and not sponsored by them, and none of these tools was sent to me free. I purchased them to myself, and I've had them probably around 2 years now. So I think it's a pretty honest review I can give on whether or not it was worth it and how they've held up over the past 2 years. Now please bear with me, it's a wonderful 5 degrees in my backyard right now, and I'm going to do this the best I can, but I want to show you an example of how each tool operates after 2 years of hard use. And I mean hard use. I put them to work. First we'll start off with the batteries. Now I have a 3 amp hour, a 5 amp hour, and a 1.5 amp hour. The 1.5 amp hour came with the actual impact drill, and I purchased the 3 amp, 5 amp, and other 5 amp myself. And I will go ahead and tell you that the 5 amp batteries cost you close to $80 now, and I'm pretty sure the 3 amps probably a little bit less than that, but close. And the 1.5s will cost you around $40. So they're very expensive. And after 2 years, I'm down 2 batteries. This one stopped working probably around the first year or so, and this one just recently stopped working. So I'm down these 2 batteries, which if you do the math, that's well over $100 worth of batteries that I can't use. Now I have heard you can take them apart and repurpose them, but I haven't tried that yet. I'll try that for a later date. Now the 5 amp and the 3 amp are still working so far. This is the charger that comes with them. It's a good charger. It is a 3 amp charger, so you can expect 6-7 hours charging time, but it does a good job. It has multiple indications on the lights to let you know whether it's charging, whether you got some kind of if it's too hot or too cold, some kind of problem with the battery charger, or some kind of problem with the battery. It will indicate these with these lights here on the front, so that's pretty good. I do like the charger pretty well. Now, out of all the tools I have sitting here, probably the one I've used probably the most is the weed eater. Now, I do use this weed eater a lot. Now, this is the smaller weed eater they sell. They have a larger version. I have to say this weed eater is pretty awesome for its size. I mean, it will bog down. It's electric, but it does take quite a bit to bog it down. It does perform really well. Out of all the electric trimmers, weed eaters, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever owned, this is definitely the best, and it's held up the best. Most you're lucky to get a season out of before it burns the motor up, but this thing is held in there. Now the twine is kind of more to be desired there, but comes with this little tiny spool, and the not much twine on the spools, as you can see right there. You can buy these spools. They come to 2 a pack, and they're about $10, or you can just rewound them yourself. I've done that before. But awesome weed eater. I'll slap a. Now the difference is in the 3 and the 5 volt, which you guys know this, but I'm just going to say this out of just context here. You get more power out of a 5 amp than you will a 3 amp. It's just more of a go to it. However, the 5 amp will heat up quicker. Now what happens when these batteries get too hot during use, they will cut off. Just like your battery goes dead, but it's not dead. It just, the battery says, hey, I'm too hot. It's time to shut off and cool down a little while. So it'll do that. So until you get used to it, you'll think, wow, that battery went dead quick, but it's not dead. It's just needing to cool off. Slide it in there, slap it in, and there you go, you're ready to go. Now it has a button here, it's a safety button. It will not activate the trigger unless you push the button in. And I have to say, I've never weed eated in January, but let's give it a whirl. And that's pretty good. That was hedges, by the way. Anybody that's ever weed eated, that knows that hedges can be a pain in the butt. But now, it can cut grass, and I mean, it does a good job of it. I mean, if you want to do some light trimming around your yard, preferably I use it mostly around the house and the swing set there. But I'm really happy with it. Now to take the battery out, you just simply push the button in, slide the battery off, and that's it. Weed eater, my opinion, honestly, 9 out of 10. Easy 9, easy. Been great. Now let's move on to this little gadget, a glue gun. Now, what happened with this glue gun is when the 1.5 battery worked properly, I used it. And it works just like this. You just simply slide it in and snap it, and it, you know, it worked fine. Well, this battery, like I said, went out. Don't work no more. So I had to use a 3 amp. Now what happens with the 3 amp is it gets it too hot. I guess it's too much ampage. The gun itself actually starts melting the glue stick inside of it. It'll just melt and pour out, as you can see. So you can't leave it on for a while. And then once it dries, it prevents the stick when you pull the trigger. See, the trigger won't even pull it anymore. You can't push the trigger. I mean, you can heat it up and do it, but you just got the mess all over again. So, not a fan of the glue gun from Bauer. And again, it could be because I used the wrong size battery. I'm sure there's a disclaimer somewhere that says only use a 1.5 amp hour battery for the glue gun. And if that be the case, then that was my fault, not Bauer's. Now, on to the impact. Now, this impact drill is awesome. You can use 3 amp or 5 amp, whatever you want. And I have used it. This thing has some good torque to it. No problems, no complaints. Definitely recommend this baby. And this is the 1/4 hex. So, impact driver, 20 volt, 0 to 2900 RPM, model 1981 CB. Highly recommend this. Definitely a 9 out of 10. Fantastic. Great tool. Now, let's move on to the hedge trimmer. Now, this little gadget here, when I got it, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal and that great of a tool. But just to be honest, this thing is fantastic. I love this tool. And the reason is you just see these two little notches on the side. Just pinch them. And the hedge tool, this part, removes itself. And you apply this one. And that's it. You've added a different tool. Now watch this. I'll put this on. We'll take this one with us. Now this also has a safety switch right here. You have to push it forward before it will work. Look, now just before I do this, I have put this thing, as you can see, I have put it through the ringer. I got a lot of fence. So sometimes when I cut, I don't know I'm hitting the fence, and I will hit the fence. But this thing still, look at that. Still, look at that. Now, I mean, it will cut good. This is about close to the size that you want to get to. You don't want to go much bigger than that. It will cut it, but it is hard on it. And sometimes these blades will get caught under itself. In other words, this will get caught under this and it won't move, and you'll have to kind of pop it back out. But that's through some really rough work. That's me putting it through some stuff, okay? But other than that, you can see, look at that. Look at that. We'll go a little lower. Okay, so that's that size, so let's go ahead. Well, it did it. All right, let's go a little lower. A little bigger. It did it. Well, definitely impressing me. All right, so let's try one more. Let's try this big one. Did it. Okay. I take that back. It cut that pretty easy. So I'm impressed. Let's stop it. I'm up for it. Okay, so that is pretty good size. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Here we go. Now there's no way it'll cut that boy. That one right there. There we go. We've ground it out now. Well, it still cut it. It just takes a minute. Yeah, sure enough. That's pretty good size. I mean, I get it turned here. Let's use my finger for. Pretty good size. Well, that's after 2 years, never sharpened. Yes, I said it, never sharpened them. I have never took a file to those things. And I have used them a lot. Well, you can see the dangs and dongs out of them. All right, so like I said, that's that. Now, let's put this one, the actual hedge trimmer. Now, this one I have not trimmed it either. Or I mean trimmed it. Now this one I have not sharpened it either, and it still works like a dream. Look at that. Look at that. And that's pretty impressive. Now, of course, this one, I don't think it will go nowhere near as big as the other one, but let's give it a whirl. Let's try it. I think this will ground it out. Yeah, they won't even let it go in there. It's definitely made for smaller branches, but look at that. That is impressive. Especially for a tool that I've never sharpened after 2 years. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you've seen my yard. I've got a lot of branches and hedges and things I clean out, and this is what I use. So definitely 9 on that. Now, I didn't say this, but the batteries have an indicator. You can push this little button here, and it will tell you about how charged your battery is. That's a plus. Now, this angle grinder, I've used it quite a bit too, cutting a lot of metal with it. It does really good. However, it does heat the battery up quick, so it will require a little time on some things. Now, I don't want to badmouth it too bad because it does a great job, but it does heat the battery up quick when you're cutting, and you'll have to stop and let the battery cool down and pick up cutting again. But let's see if I can find something to cut. All right, so as you can see, this is a pretty good thick pipe. So let's see. Now see, that's what I mean. See how it just died down there? Pushing hard on it, I'm not bearing down. I'm letting it eat its way through. And there was that. There you go. Not bad. But I'm glad it gave an example of what it does. Halfway through cutting, it just stops, and that's definitely because of the battery. But as you can see, not a bad grinder. And I also got these cutting discs from Harbor Freight. A lot of people badmouth them, but I've had good luck with them. I mean, I've had a few that's broke on me, but more than not, they've worked out. Now, the grinder I give, probably, if you were in a tough pickle out somewhere with no electricity, it would be good. Or if you're around the house and you just don't want to drag out an extension cord, yeah, it's good for that. But I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I mean, yeah, easy 7 out of 10. And I don't know why they put the help hold there. There's, to me, not enough torque there to need that. But all right, so now let's move on to the chainsaw. Now this is the smaller chainsaw, the smaller version. Like the weed eater, it's not the big one, and the reason is the same purpose. I just wanted something light that I could, throw on the ATV four-wheeler and just do some small jobs with it, around the house. But definitely a good one. You put your bar oil here. There's your little indicator. You got full, and empty. I have had to go through one chain on this, and that's by no fault of Bauer. That's just because I got into some metal and cutting some of the trees around the fence line. But I will use the 5-volt battery on this. The 3 amp will work, or I mean not 5 volt, 5 amp hour. The 3 amp hour will work, but the 5 seems to work a lot better. So let's take it over here and give it a try. Now I would like to say that I cut all this up with this chainsaw, but I actually didn't. I actually used another chainsaw, but I did cut the majority with it, believe it or not. Now this is a pretty good sized log right here. If anybody's familiar with trees, this is a mulberry. Used to be bush, now tree. They are pretty hard wood. They're pretty tough. So give you an idea of how it cuts. Now that is the battery cutting down. Now, 2 things there. One, my chain's starting to get a little dull. I use it quite a bit. I haven't sharpened it in a while. And 2, that is really too big of a log for this small of a chainsaw. This chainsaw is mostly like made for smaller branches, and smaller trees. But I wanted to show you that it is possible. After 2 years, this thing will saw a tree. It will cut it. And I mean, if it had a sharper chain on it, and probably I wasn't bearing down on it so quick, trying to speed it up so, you know, the video don't take 2 hours, it wouldn't have stopped as much because it's putting a little pressure on it. And that kind of put more, you know, pull on the battery. But right there, that's 2 years of use on that thing. 2 years of use. And it's still going strong. And these chains are pretty inexpensive. I think you can get 3 of them online for like $10 or $15. I bought 3 of them. And I've had that chain on there probably a year. And I only sharpened it once or twice. But as far as the chainsaw goes, definitely, no doubt, 10. I have really put that thing through the ringer, and it has came through and it worked great. So I definitely give it a 10. And to give you a better idea before this rooster tries to eat me, because he's bad for that, go. You can see there, cuts that stuff no problem. But if you want a small battery powered chainsaw, do you approve? Definitely a good chainsaw. Now, last but definitely not least, post saw. Now, I have equally used this just as much. Here is the oil or bar oil fill up right here. This is your chain tightener here, which I should show that on the other. There's a chain tightener. That's how you take your bar and chain off, or tighten it up if your chain starts to get a little slack. This is what this is on this one. Don't need no tools, just your hand. I like that. Now, this saw, I'm not gonna badmouth it. It's done really good. But you just flop that out, and then you pull like that, and then that is the complete length extended. This is long as it'll go right there, which is plenty long enough because it gets kind of, I don't know if you can see that, but kind of flimsy, wobbly. See, it's plastic, but I mean, it's a strong plastic. I mean, it does feel kind of wobbly sometimes, but it gets the job done. And it has not let me down thus far. Now, it is top heavy, which I don't know many post saws that aren't top heavy. So once you get it completely extended out and then you try to reach out and cut something, it does get a little heavy on the ends like that. But let me show you here. Put the 5-volt in like that. We'll bring it over here. All right. Remove that bar guard. All right. Now let's see. I'll extend it out all the way, like so. And again, I'm using the 5-amp battery, and we'll get all the way up there on that branch right there. And then you've got a safety switch, just like the chainsaw, like all the rest. Makes short order. Pretty good size branch. Now let me give you a bird's eye view there with the drone. Alright, so that's it for the post saw. Like I said, works really well. I've had it for a few years, 2 years, and I've used it a lot. Downside to the saw, definitely kind of made of, I guess, like I said, kind of a plastic kind of feel to it. I mean, it's heavy duty, don't get me wrong. I've leaned on it pretty hard to cut some branches, and it's not broke or cracked or anything. So even though it is kind of a plasticky feel, it's held up. I would have to give it a definite at least 9 out of 10, because it has done the job. I've cut some limbs that I shouldn't have probably cut with it because they were pretty good size. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I picked up this the other day, probably about a week or so ago. It's a Bauer pump, and what it does is it will air up your inflatable boats and so forth. I got it for the pontoon, and let me tell you, it does a really, really good job. I mean, I've not had it 2 years, I've had it a week, and so far it hasn't disappointed me. It does inflate and deflate. You can do both. The deflate comes in handy because it always takes forever to get the air out of them. It just pulls it right out. Really, really neat little tool. Well, that concludes the video. Again, Bauer tools, I like them. They've done good by me for 2 years. Told you the goods, told you the bads. Again, I think they've done a great job. I would recommend them to anyone. Run out and grab you some. Just know that I mean, they have limitations, but like I said, the biggest complaint I have is the 2 batteries going down on me. But other than that, no. Great line of tool. I do not regret buying them one bit. So, and like I said, I'm not endorsed by them in any way possible. I paid money for these things. Trust me, I paid a lot of money for these things, and I wouldn't lie to you. I recommend them. Run down that Harbor Freight and grab you some. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you later.